What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Entrepreneur Experience. This is episode number 3.
Number 3?
Yeah, we're on a roll, dude.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Hey, what do they say? 3 and it's a habit?
I don't know if they say that, but sure,
20.
we'll go with that.
It's 21, I believe.
20. Well, I heard 66. I've heard 21. Look, just do it long enough over and over again, and it'll become a habit eventually.
Yeah.
That's really kind of like my philosophy.
Oh, dude, quick thing. We talked about mindset last time.
Yes.
And as I was re-listening to just kind of generate my own feedback was there's an aspect to physical exercise and physical, practical things that you can do that actually shapes your mindset too.
Oh.
Which was crazy.
Yeah.
So just
Do you want to share that really quick?
Well, just
Because
like
chances are people have already listened to episode 2, which was mindset, and now they're listening to this one.
yeah.
So
If you haven't listened to episode 2, go back to it.
I was actually listening to last night, and I was blown away. I was like, I don't remember
good.
saying that, but this is good.
The physical, so I'm jogging. This is a practical.
Right.
I'm jogging. And I get through that stage of, I hate this.
Right.
Life sucks. Why am I doing this? I don't have to do this.
Right.
All that negativity comes to my brain. And then if I don't push through that, it's bad.
Right.
But when I push through it, it's really rewarding and really good. And then you start, like, the way you feel physically affects so much with your mind.
Oh, 100%. So I go to the gym a lot. And I don't go just to the regular gym. I actually do martial arts. And every time I go there, I always have a form of resistance. I've been doing this for years. I love it, but I also hate it. Like, when I go, I know, okay, I'm going to spar. I might not have some comfortable moments. They're going to push me. But when I go through it, and about the 30-minute mark into it, I'm like, I totally love this. I'm sweating so much. This feels so good. And I don't want to stop. And then when I'm finally done, how I feel physically is just so, there's endorphins. Yeah. So that's how mindset works, guys.
You can use your mental to drive your physical, but you can also do the other way. And your physical can affect your mental. And it really, it's just something I learned.
Well, just try being super unhealthy physically.
Yeah.
It affects almost everything that you do.
Yeah.
Think about that. How many physically unhealthy people do you know typically have a negative mindset? I know that didn't sound right, but there's a lot of...
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the audience knows what you mean too. So yeah, that's cool.
So,
I mean, it's a cool realization.
It is.
So all the fitness gurus out there and especially if you're an entrepreneur for fitness, give us a little shout out. Let us know in the comments. Or this is absolutely true. Here, use my service,
Yeah, right. So anyways, today I'm excited about what we really want to talk about today.
Yep.
You
saw the title. You probably already know.
Right? Branding and marketing. And then you are literally a marketing expert in a lot of ways. So in this podcast, I'm going to be asking you more of the questions. Now, as a business coach, I handle marketing often. I deal with it with not just with my own businesses, but with my clients' businesses. So I know a great deal about branding and marketing, but you're really the expert. You're the one that actually puts things together. You help people with their branding and with their marketing, specifically on the videography side. But I also know that you do a lot more than that. So are you ready to be questioned?
Yes, and I want you to interrupt and bring a follow-up or you represent the audience right now. No pressure.
Okay, I'm representing you guys.
But if I start speaking in ones and zeros and things like that, all the ones that understand are going to love it. But at the same time, the people that don't understand are going to just, not listen.
For sure.
Or tune us out or switch to a different podcast. Oh, wait, Joe Rogan's new one's on. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Joe Rogan, that's a whole nother. So basically,
interrupt.
when you talk in your marketing language, I need to help you to bring it down to understandable terms.
Or even if it's just getting boring. Because I'll already try to make it practical.
Yeah.
I do try to do that, speaking third grade level.
Right. So, okay. Well, I think you do a good job. But I think the biggest question out there Well, the biggest question I always had that I never wanted to ask because I felt stupid asking it was like, what is branding? What is marketing? I always thought it was the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, can you help break down in very simple terms, what is branding? What is marketing?
To me, like branding's the foundation.
Okay.
And then marketing's, reaching out. So branding can be involved with, or it's the other way. Marketing can't involve branding as much as branding can become marketing, if that makes sense. So branding's the long-term game. It's the foundation. And then the marketing's on top of that when you're reaching out. And that's just how I differentiate it. Now, a lot of people, it might be you got to figure out what they mean and what their definition is. Like, what do you mean by this?
Right.
And then you can differentiate. To me, the branding is like, and it's more than just a logo, but it is a logo. It's the face, it's the culture, it's the smell, it's the like all the senses, the experience. That plays into the branding.
Yeah. So essentially, it's how people see you from the outside.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
It's how, so branding's like how they see you, and then marketing's how you try to see them.
Okay.
Dude, that's good. I just thought of that. Like,
yeah. So I always think about that. And so when I finally got the answer, like it was branding is how people see you.
Yep.
What you do to communicate an invisible language so when people see you, they understand who you are and what you do without even having to tell them who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
Right? So
yep.
If they visit
marketing tends to involve a lot of asking as well. Mm-hmm. And branding naturally isn't always asking. Branding is like, it's just, hey, I'm here. It's me. I'm showing up. I have a presence.
Right. And I also think if I can like go a little bit further in that is branding also like everybody has a brand. Mm-hmm. Not everybody has a good brand.
Right.
Right. I feel like when I deal with my clients, the people that have a good brand are people that not only do a good job with the client experience from the outside looking in, but also within their messaging, they're helping their clients understand the unique value proposition that they're going to get, the brand promises, meaning the clients know exactly what I'm going to get just by looking at your website, just by interacting with you a couple of times. Like it's very clear of the value that you're going to get without you saying, this is what I do and this is the value that I have.
Right.
It's all within the perception.
Right.
So your logo plays a huge part in that, but it's not just that.
Like
you were
branding's
saying.
the recognition, branding's the reputation, Whereas marketing, like your brand could be that you have good marketing, but you don't really.
Well, that would be more for a marketing company, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So like for you, your brand needs to be that you're an excellent marketer.
Yeah. Or, well, it could be too that like, oh, they're good at follow-up and they're good at this. And it's just like the things you can't always label it, but it's that like subconscious experience to me for branding. What do you guys think here on the listeners? Like, have you ever thought of a difference for branding and marketing? Let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah, down below, baby. Okay, so I did a workshop with David Jackson, right? Owner of Techie.
Yeah, I was there. That was a good one.
And I remembered we did talk about this just a little bit, the difference. So 2 things that I got away from that workshop was, if you want to brand, there are a couple things you have to work on to brand your business. This is like you already have your logo, you already have all that kind of stuff. So all the physical branding part is done. But like in order to communicate that invisible message, like unique value proposition.
Okay.
Like how can you articulate what your customers are sure to get from you that's so different from everybody else that they're like, I want to use this guy even though he's more expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for example, your business. Why would I want to get all my quantum social videos with JT visuals without an eye?
One of the biggest things was a blinding, flashing obvious that I'm throwing into the unique selling proposition now, and that is you get video coaching through your sessions. It ain't just a service. We are a solution.
Boom.
JT Visuals. So service, even in the training and culture within the brand, it's almost like a cuss word for us.
Yeah.
It's like anytime we catch ourselves starting to type service, like the subscription service, like I put it into, I want it to be solution oriented. There's a problem, we want to solve it, and a little more.
Yeah.
And that little bit of more is our unique selling proposition.
Right.
There's something missing in the name of my business.
Right.
JT Visuals. If you mispronounce it, it'd be JT Visuals. Because there's no I.
Right.
But why?
Because there's more that meets the eye.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And he gets it because of branding.
Of branding, right? And so it's like, hey, JT Visuals without the I. Like, it's always a joke between us.
Yeah.
Right? So I remember when I had my service company in California, like we clean air ducts, drive-ins, and chimneys, we went on this journey about like client experience, because Christy and I had a horrible experience with a Cox Cable company coming to our house. Like, we had a really dirty guy show up and had a butt crack showing, and he smelled like he bathed in nicotine, right? And we were just like, you know what? Like, if we ever have a company that our guys have to come in the house, like, we want to create such an excellent experience that these people actually literally want to put us on their kitchen table to feed us, to give us, like, have a relationship with us. Now, obviously, that was really extreme, and that didn't happen all the time. However, we went on that journey of saying, you know what? When you book our company, you will have such an excellent experience that you will leave better. We will leave your house, and you will feel better that we were there than before we showed up.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So we trained our guys to look good, to shave good, to smell good, but then also to ask questions and make people feel comfortable in their house.
Yeah.
You
could have done the exact same service,
right?
But because of that, you had a brand difference.
We did. And I always joked, but I was serious during our team meetings. We're like, hey, we're actually not in the business of cleaning air ducts. We're in the business of customer service. We just happen to clean air ducts, and chimneys. So it was like when we shifted our focus on the client experience, our brand completely changed.
Awesome.
Our unique selling and value proposition changed. You know what I mean? Our brand promises changed. And what happened was we became very expensive, and people still bought from us.
Okay, nice.
So branding, I would argue, and I hope you agree with me, if you do it right, you can actually become a lot more expensive. And because of a strong brand, you could literally still have people wanting to buy your expensive.
And just because it's a brand.
Exactly.
Someone could make the exact same MacBook from Apple.
Yes.
But people want it because it's Apple. Or like the way they brand their stuff, it's so good.
Well, their
and
brand is all about, do you want to feel like you're not like everybody else?
Yeah.
Right?
And there's something I learned.
Look at this super simple looking thing that you'll pay 700 times more for, right? Like, that's Apple.
Yeah. There's something I learned, like this guy named Simon. Yes.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, this is what Apple does. But let me first say, this is what we all do naturally. Whenever you go and try to sell something, you say what, you say how, and then you say why. It doesn't resonate that way. Apple has flipped that on its head, and good brands and good sales comes from why, then how, then what.
Oh.
So you start with that because that's like the branding.
Gosh. Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I'm going to try this. I go to a B9 networking group. I'm going to try this for my asks. I'm always going to try to format it to where I'm either casting the vision first or, some other quality thing. Then I say what and how. And
so say it in order again.
Why,
what, and how?
Actually, go back and look it up. I don't remember totally, but I believe it's why,
sense, though.
How, and then what.
Okay. So why? Why do people want something different? Why do people want this, right?
Yeah.
Or what?
Or why are you
want?
selling it? Like what? Like what does it do for people? So you're starting with a problem and becoming a solution.
I think that the whole context around that is you find out what the people are wanting.
Yeah.
Right. And it's beyond just I think it's beyond just a tangible thing that you could touch. It's like, what are they really looking for?
Yeah.
Are they looking
And for
status?
Apple, it became status.
Status.
It became status so much.
Now it's a whole Apple and Android thing. It almost feels like, remember the show Twilight a long time ago? It was like Team Jacob, Team Isaac.
Oh, yeah.
That was like Team Apple, Team Android. Like it's almost like that. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
Unfortunately, I know.
Unfortunately.
Now, I have respect for all movies, though. Like
Yeah.
when I watch it, I'm like, what if I made this, you know? Or
Right.
what
Well,
about
they
the
made a
people
lot of
on
money,
set?
so
And they had fun making it. So whether you actually like the concept or not, that's
yeah.
on you. But
Well, think about other large companies' brands. Like, for example,
Yeah.
I know that BMW, for example. It's status. BMW, Mercedes, Audi,
yeah.
Bentley, all those large, like very luxury. It's status. Those cars, yeah, you could justify, paying all that money for it because of all the things inside. But if you really think about it, it's like an overpriced piece of metal with a motor in it. A very nice motor, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But like when you drive around in a Bentley, when you drive around in a very expensive Mercedes or BMW, like you're driving around saying, I have status, right?
Yep.
That's really what it is. They're branding the status of luxury automobiles.
And then you market the brand.
And you market the brand, right?
Yeah.
Which for BMW, I remember their slogan was the ultimate driving machine, right? You market that. You drive a BMW, not only a status, but you have the ultimate driving machine.
Right.
And so if status is important to somebody in luxury cars, they're like, do I want to have the ultimate driving machine? So
I mean, definitely function. I've grown into like adopting function over looks. As I grow older and become a dad and stuff, it's like I'm going to wear the same shirt over and over. But to some point, there are some things that I like.
yeah,
And if you think about it, when it comes to like material things,
right.
it almost always, or maybe it does always, come down to status
Yeah,
of why you selected that.
right.
Because you could have gone with the $20 shoes instead of the $80 shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think,
And some of the difference is like reliability and all that. Like
but
and
it
they
all
put
depends
that
on
in
what
the
you
brand.
value, though, right?
Yeah.
It really depends on what you value.
Yeah.
Because I'm like you with my clothes. Like I don't get these very expensive brand stuff. I don't value that. I love what I have and I wear the crap out of it. You know what I mean? But when it comes to, like, for example, food, I'm a foodie, right? I'm very picky about the type of food, and I will literally buy $100 steak over, you know what I mean? Because I value that over just eating something really, So like,
It's like once you go there, it's hard to go back.
right?
You know?
Exactly. I like I'm an Audi guy. I love Audis. Yeah.
I'm an any guy.
That is
Sorry.
we're dads. That's a boom, right? So Audi guy, but so branding, right? It's how the market perceives you from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's what it is.
Yeah. And you think about it, like you're in the market. That's probably where marketing, the official term, came from, is when you go out to the market to show them your brand.
Right.
And that's the difference. Right. It's like if you're a church and you're doing outreach, that's it.
That's your
marketing. Or a
marketing.
nonprofit,
Yeah. Okay, so you said something. So you're marketing your brand. So marketing is about how you communicate it then, right?
Yes. I would say
because we're talking about branding.
Yeah.
How people see from the outside looking in. And then you just said marketing is like it's about marketing your brand. So marketing is really about communication. Would you agree with that?
I would actually 100% agree with that. And I would want to retitle this. No, rewind. Let's go back. No,
right.
Guys, that's a really good, like boiling it down that way.
Yeah.
That was a good find, a good workshop that we just had there.
Right. Well, for the entrepreneurs, I mean, and I'm just speaking for myself because I'm a very simple-minded entrepreneur. My college degree was dropout, right? So, and my education level wasn't too high. So like I had to learn all this stuff the hard way by really asking a lot of questions.
Okay.
So I think for me, it's like just being able to break it down in the simplest of terms. So that way the entrepreneur can go out there and be like, look, okay, now I understand the basics of it. Let me go and crush it. You know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah.
Because when you have a business, the essentials are you have to brand, you have to have a good brand, and you have to know how to market that brand so you can get the ideal clients in.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. So I am definitely in the marketing space, but most of the time I try to describe that I'm more in the branding space because I want to help you communicate your brand, which is marketing.
Right.
But it's not like a push marketing. So there's a pull marketing and there's a push marketing. And the pull is to draw people into your brand without being in their face.
Got it.
Pushing them to do something or go somewhere. So like on our podcast, if you're stumbling upon this without us sending a link to you to listen to the podcast, then that's a pull marketing.
Right.
Trying to pull that in. The push is like it's all about the ask. It's all about the ad. It's all about that. All about that bass.
All about that bass. So, okay, cool. So you said that you're in the branding space.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you use your business to help people get or create a very good brand? The type
I
of
thought there was going to be more.
the type of brand that really gets people to want to communicate with that company.
Yeah.
So you have a client.
Yep.
And you specifically, you're in this field of videography.
Uh-huh.
Right? In simple terms.
I try to go to their vision first.
Okay.
What's your overarching vision? Or do you even have one? And I'll try to help shape that just so I know the direction that this needs to go.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure we keep the main thing and that it fits into their existing brand, whether they knew they were branding it this way or not.
Okay.
And then do they want to keep it there? So I try to like assess first, see where they are, ask them where they want to be. If we had an example and can you role play like someone or something? I don't know.
Yeah, let's role play.
So
hey, I have a plumbing company and I need videos. I need social media videos and I need professional videos so I can get more clients.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, I'm bad at this, the actual role play, but we'll still go with it, you know? Okay. So
there's a lot of eyes watching us, but we can't see them. So go ahead.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, there'd probably be some small talk and then it would be like, what's your overall goal? What are you looking to accomplish?
I need more leads to come in.
Okay. More leads. And then what is it with your business that is your specialty?
Well, we're plumbers. We do almost everything, but honestly, I make the most money doing water heater replacements.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, ideally, it'd be nice to get more of those, so.
What was it that made you get into that?
Plumbing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, I came up with a rough life and I was kind of done with that type of life. So now I found a way to be able to make money, using my hands. Right?
You're good at this, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
keep
just
going.
making stuff up as I go.
Yeah, keep going. Where do you think that passion came from? This is a deeper question, so you got to have time if you ask that.
Yeah, my passion came from just a desire to make money. I grew up poor, so. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you do?
Business-wise?
Yeah.
I mean, I just stick to plumbing. So.
Was there anybody in particular that inspired you to get into plumbing, or how did you get into it?
Well, I started working for somebody, and I just realized that, oh, shoot, I could do this on my own. I could do it better, and there's a potential for me to be able to make the type of money I want to make for my family, so that way, I don't have to live in the neighborhoods I used to live in. I don't have to have my kids grow up the same way I did. So I really just want to make a better life for them. So I need to make more clients, so that way I can, I really want, because I have clients, but I really want to get into like the upper class clients.
Yeah. Where do you get most of your business right now?
I get it through like Angie's Leads and Google and stuff like that.
Okay. Is there a certain amount that you would be looking for the ROI to come in, that it's worth it? What would be a win?
Well, based off of my limited knowledge of marketing, I mean, I put in money in Google, then I make a lot more back. So I would like to at least know that if I'm putting money into these videos, that I'm at least 4Xing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know what that would look like because I've never done this before.
Yeah. Patience is a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I would push that while we can do your videos, we need to change up the strategy because people want to be social on social media. And we've actually found that it's the same way, even if you're marketing. So even if you're selling, you always want to start with like a pain point, or you want to start with someone's story or hook them in. So we got to grab their attention first.
Okay.
And we got to build up the credibility, and then we can leverage it.
Okay.
And so with that, we have some strategies to help you with your branding, you know, to communicate your brand, to help you gain their credibility so that when you make an ask, it's a more effective ask.
Okay.
And then it can be an ongoing thing. And one of my most favorite things is if you push this out on social media, there's always this risk of becoming viral. And with that, if you have something set in place and you have a system, say people can buy something online, then that could just accidentally go viral and you have a lot of business.
Right.
But this comes with building the credibility first too,
Okay.
and consistency, because social media and even, you know, other types of platforms love consistency.
Right.
So we need to build that first.
Okay.
And yeah. Well, all right, cut this off.
All right.
Cut.
So the essence I got from
I started like, you know, rabbit trailing around,
I was
but
like, whoa, he's really getting into this. He's trying to sell me.
yeah. And then I was like, oh, this is going to be a longer conversation. We're on a podcast. We need to like cut. But basically that is what I go for. I try to push the branding first on that and really tell them this is the long game. That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah. Because branding is a long game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because branding's changed every once in a while. Like, right? Like sometimes you start not even knowing a brand and you start developing a brand. And sometimes it's not the brand that you want, and then you have to change it.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
and that can be your brand, is that you change. Like people will know that you pivot.
Yeah.
That you move with the times.
Right.
You know, you're current. Or maybe you become trendy. Like you're the one that sets the trend.
Right. Well, I know, like, so I have so many friends in the home service industry.
Okay.
And a lot of them start because, you know, they work for somebody else and found an opportunity to do it. And so they just go out there and become a handyman. They go out there and become a plumber. They don't really have a brand because it's just them, a truck, and work. And their brand is
themselves.
I'm a cheap person.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, because what most of the time,
and who are you branding to, or who are you marketing to?
And
that would have been a question I would have asked, like, who's your ideal, you know, lead?
And a lot of times what I notice is, especially as a business coach, when I ask those same questions, they don't know those answers. Right?
Well, then you know.
Yeah.
That's what we can figure out.
But they know, but they don't know, right? Like they know that they're doing work. They know that they're getting jobs. They know that, but they don't really know how to articulate that. Like I remember for me, like we just went out there and started selling jobs. And we thought, hey, if I just fill up my calendar and I'm able to meet my personal budgets and my business budgets, we're good. So you know what my brand quickly became? I will beat anybody's price. That is a dangerous brand, by the way, because I was cheap. And I had so many jobs, but was not making the money I wanted. And I remember on my website, and my wife, if you're watching this, she'll laugh. She'll laugh. On our website, we had discounts for everybody. Single mom discounts, law enforcement discounts, teachers discounts, all this kind of stuff. And I remembered my wife would like call me and be like, hey, so this guy, it's really a $900 job, but he's like, I can only give you $450. Should I just do it? I'm like, sure, let's do it. We just need to get the job. And I made zero profit on that job, you know? But because it was just me in a truck, it was so easy to think, oh, I made money. But then there was no way to scale that. So I had to quickly change my brand from, hey, I'm the cheapest guy out there to I'm the most valuable person that you could hire for this job. Right?
Yeah.
And it took a lot.
And then after that, did you start discovering your avatar? Do you know that? Like, for people listening, the avatar is your ideal
it's like
client.
Almost like being able to take all of the averages of your clients and put it into like a physical form.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So
almost like they're a real person.
Yeah. So you want to hear what it was? Like, we really came down to science.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Our ideal client was a female that stayed home, that was married, that stayed home between the ages of 25 and 55, that had an average of 2 to 3 children, living in certain area codes, upper middle class.
So how did you come to find that?
Because we started taking once we started learning how to brand, we literally took a whole year and took the averages of everybody.
Okay.
And took a look at that and said, oh my gosh, we were marketing to the men.
Yeah.
We really need to market to the women.
What would you recommend for people who don't know? And then or just a startup? Because I've heard this thing, and you correct me, but where you do kind of want to start a little broad. Where, like, maybe you have an ideal thing, like you got to decide, are you B2C or B2B? Yeah. And then you can imagine, like, where's your expertise? You can try to get somewhere, but then you want to start kind of broad, so then you can find your actual. Yeah. Right?
I think depending on the service or product, you'll know easily if it's a business to business or business to customer. But I do agree with you. Sometimes you have to just start broad to start funneling it down, especially if you just start and your knowledge of business and your knowledge of your clients, like, there's none there, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're coming from an industry and there's already experience in high-end stuff and you want to stay there, and if you've already worked with the company and you know how to do that, then you could kind of stick to that. But, like, I just said, hey, we're going to do air duct cleaning, right? So it's like, let's just start selling jobs. Because I was told, like, you need provision for the vision. So learn how to sell. And then you start getting the averages. But if you just stick to that and only stay there and never change from there, then, yeah, you could get stuck in not knowing who your market is. And that's on you now, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, we had to – this was like a 3-year ordeal.
Okay.
Like, we just started. We started selling to anybody, giving discounts to anybody that breathed. And it's funny because my coach was like, hey, you guys are giving discounts to anybody that breathes. And we just started, like, that was the most hurtful but funny thing. That was our first session when we were considering getting her as a coach. Yeah. So Coach Carrie Kaufman, if you're watching, I hope you remember that moment. But yeah, you really, you pierced my heart, but in a good way. So
nice. Clip that,
right?
And send it.
But my brand was, I'm the cheapest guy. Hire me because I'm going to beat anybody's prices. That got us the wrong clientele, by the way. The people who are always focused on money, the people who are always nitpicking, the people, right? And so when we changed our brand to our customer service is like none other and you will have an excellent experience and a job well done, then we started getting high-end clients. People who just said, hey, the code at my door is this. Here's my $15 million mansion. Just do everything and invoice me when you're done. Like, it was nice doing like $10,000 jobs like that.
Have you heard that thing that's like, you can only pick 2?
Right.
And it's speed, it's quality, or, oh man, what was the other one? Speed, quality, or cheap.
Cheap.
And you can only pick 2. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Have you found that to be true?
Very, very true. I think, okay, so I know exactly what you're saying. So we can get it done fast, we can get it cheap, or we can get it done right.
Yeah.
Right?
Which one?
Which one? So if you want it done cheap and right, it won't be fast.
Yep.
Or something like that. If you want it fast and cheap, it won't be done right.
Yeah.
Right? So something like, was that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yep.
So we did that. So that was branding. Okay, let's get into marketing.
Yeah.
How about that?
All right.
Because marketing, I think, is a language that most people can understand. The branding is like an invisible thing that floats around, super important.
Right.
But like when we said marketing is literally the way we communicate our brand to our target audience, like let's talk about it.
You can't totally, or you can, but it'll be like a shotgun in the dark. But it's almost like marketing. You have to have that avatar, or you have to have one of them.
Right.
You have to have an ideal one, even if you don't know, because you need to get into their mind and understand their pain points.
Right.
So marketing.
All right, marketing.
All right. Just a little bit about it, and then I have some things that I'm fired up about.
Okay.
And it's just I want to share it. There's like little tricks and things you can do for the marketing.
I actually think that's good because I think people who are watching this or listening want to know those things, right?
Yeah, they probably do.
I feel like people like keep that a secret. right?
Yeah.
Or when people talk about marketing, it's so broad. Like, I really want to get down and be like, if you do this, these are the chances of these are the results you might get if you do this.
Yeah.
You know, like, so, okay, so a little bit about marketing.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Or you want me to?
You start. You
Okay.
totally understand marketing. Like I'm more on a digital marketing
Okay,
standpoint,
right.
and then you can be more like, like from your experience, you like just speak about what you already know. You know?
Well, marketing is number one I always say number one, but marketing is an essential part of your business, right? Like, if you want to get ideal clients, you have to know how to communicate to those ideal clients in a way that gets them fired up about potentially using you, right? The results that you'll get if you do it right is your phones will ring or people will reach out to you.
Yeah.
That's
their call to action.
That's their call to action. Now, if you suck at closing, then you're that's another thing. That's sales, and that's a different topic. But if you market the right way, number one, the people reaching out to you will be your ideal clients, or the majority of them will be your ideal clients. And then number two, they're going to want to do business with you, right? So communication, marketing is all about communication. Did you know that the majority of companies only use 2 styles of marketing?
Okay.
On average.
Is that the push-pull? What are you talking about?
No, like I'm talking
digital,
about like
physical?
No, I'm talking about like actual avenues of marketing. So most people will only use like a website and a Google My Business or some type of social media, and that's it.
That's some average?
That's on average. Most businesses only do 2 or 3 like things to market. Yes.
Like not even verbal, verbal marketing by like going to a networking thing or showing up at a business.
You'd be surprised.
Dang.
Or some people only
or at least reported.
Some people only do word of mouth and networking.
Yeah.
And they don't do anything with their website. They have one, but they never use it. They don't use anything on social media.
Too.
They don't do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I'm seeing a generational swap where a lot of the older generations, and I'm talking about like 35s, 40s, and 50s, a lot of that is, word of mouth, networking, because really that's kind of how you have to do things. And then now you have the young generation where everything is TikTok, Instagram, social media, this, that.
Right.
So that in between of that relationship building and marketing is kind of being gone. It's been away with. I always teach that you have to at least have 10 different avenues of marketing.
Oh, yes. I know where you're going.
And from those, you try to go at least 10 different ways deep. For example, and if you're by yourself, this is impossible, or if you could try it, it would burn out. But I have a team of people, right? So one of my strategies to market is to do networking groups, BNIs, chambers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We're not 10 ways deep because I don't have the capacity for that, but everybody on my staff is part of a different networking group.
Yeah, so you went as far as you could.
So we went as far as I could. Social media. How many platforms can I put that same message on?
Right.
10
is easy, guys.
10 is easy with that one. Because there's Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Pinterest.
Oh, did you know?
Don't forget Pinterest.
Okay, so here's something I learned from a marketer. Did you know Pinterest is now something that helps your SEO?
I did know that, but I didn't know other people knew it.
Well, people use
assumed.
Pinterest so much now that if you have a Pinterest account linked to your website, it will drive traffic that way. Because Pinterest is literally, people are using that as a form of a search engine now.
There are times, too, when I'm like on Google and a Pinterest link will come up for that thing I'm looking for.
Exactly. And on top of that, you can actually do a lot of affiliate stuff on Pinterest. So if you...
Yeah.
But another thing too is, did you know your Google My Business is like another form of social media now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could put reels on there. You could put all that stuff. Did you know YouTube Shorts is a form of social media now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like,
right?
Yep. That's when they cross the line to being like, okay, they're more than just a video hosting platform. And,
because now you can just put regular posts on there.
Yep.
So when I say digital marketing deep, there's all those platforms.
Yep.
Then what is another avenue of marketing? What's another way of marketing?
Oh man, why am I drawing a blank? I'm on the spot. That's why. We did networking. We did social media. We have just online stuff.
Online. So your
like
website, SEO,
yeah.
blogging.
Yep.
There's so much you could do with that. So if you could find a way to go 10 avenues wide,
Yeah.
different avenues wide for marketing, and then as far deep as possible for different ways to go that, then
you could go physical as well.
yeah,
That could be
physical
one.
marketing, right?
Like mailers. Do the mail to neighbor thing, you know?
Right. Well, for my air duct cleaning business, we did door hangers.
Oh.
So
okay.
we finished a job, and it was a technician's job to post 10 or 15 door hangers around before they left for every job. We didn't get a job every single time, but you better believe we got work from that.
Yeah.
That was physical marketing.
Yep. And sometimes like it's funny because people always go straight to ROI. And I know why. And it's because we're in business. People want to know that. But some things don't have that direct ROI, but it does hold value in being one of the 7 to 12 touch points that it takes to get a sale.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like something as little as a pen with your logo on it can count as a marketing strategy. But if someone's going, what's the ROI on the pen? Like, how do you track that?
Good luck finding out unless somebody said, yeah, I found your number on this pen and I called you.
Which that's possible.
It
Same as
is.
a business card.
But
they got to think of you.
What will most people do if they found your name on a pen? They'd visit your website. They would go to your social media. Like, I mean, you could have that.
There's one more thing. Like, yeah.
But if you don't go 10 avenues wide, because most people want to check you out first.
Yeah.
Chances are they're not going to just say, oh, I found you on this mailer. I found you. They're going to check you out on social media. They're going to check you out on Facebook. They're going to see if you have YouTube videos. There's all that stuff that they're going to look at. So, yeah, it's hard to track the ROI. But if you don't have all those things in place, you might also lose a chance for them to actually call you or reach out to you.
Yeah.
Right?
In the online, too, I would put like testimonials,
Testimonials.
That like testimonial videos and testimonials. If you can ever pair the two, that's awesome. Like at the end of when I do what I call fastimonials, which are just, 1 minute versions of a testimonial on video. And it's strategically made for social media, but you could also use a horizontal version on your website.
Right.
Now, what I do at the end of those sessions is as best as I can, this will be in my policy, written down the checklist that my next guy needs to do when he comes in. And that is ask them if they've left a recent Google review.
Yeah.
A 5-star one, if they're 5-star satisfied.
Right.
Because it builds on that credibility of that video testimonial when it's tied to a Google review.
Exactly.
Because it's, so they go hand in hand.
Those Google reviews actually help your SEO too.
Yeah.
Like big time.
So Google My Business is like, it fits under, I would draw in between social media and SEO or like the online. So,
but they all work together.
Yeah, they do.
Right. Like I know sometimes when I'm like Googling something, like I don't know the name of the company. I'm just like, if I Googled some type of restaurant, right? Sometimes a Yelp post would come up for that restaurant, or sometimes a Facebook post for that restaurant will come up.
Okay.
Like if I said, I want Indian food, right? Yeah. Sometimes but it typically happens because whatever they're doing, they're asking people to leave 5-star reviews on their Facebook page. So if there's a lot more 5-star reviews on that Facebook page, it'll start shooting up onto your thing. So
good.
I don't know, like it all works in tangent together. And again, like if you're new to marketing and you're listening or watching this, this can be very overwhelming. We're throwing out information so fast and like we're like having you drink water from a fire hose.
Yeah.
But it's really, really easy to get discouraged. I would say start with something and just keep consistent with it.
Yeah.
And then when you're done when you're good being consistent and you can stay consistent, add something else to it.
Yeah.
Because another thing that I've noticed in marketing is that people don't stay consistent, and that's what kills people's ROI.
Yeah,
is a lack of consistency.
Yep.
Marketing, branding, that is all a longer term game.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Like, especially if your industry.
And then it definitely wins in the end because, like, you can do less marketing if you have that really good brand establishment.
Exactly.
But you would probably end up doing more.
Right.
You would do more marketing.
Well,
people will market it for you at that point because they're a fan.
Well, if you're if you have a specific product or service where people don't naturally look for you, you have to really be prepared to have a consistent game plan for marketing and branding. For example, there are certain industries where the demand is so high, it doesn't matter if you have good or bad branding. If the demand's high, they'll buy. Like HVAC, for example, heating and air during the wintertime, right? If there's such a high demand of people's heaters blowing out in the middle of a snowstorm, right? It doesn't matter what HVAC company it is. Everybody's getting phone calls. Everybody's getting that rush, like, come to my house, I'll pay you whatever, right?
Who's getting the most phone calls, though?
Yes, but even then, people that don't have good web presence will still get it because there's so many. Like I've experienced that with my clients and myself. But if you're in an industry that's more of like ours, branding and marketing is super important because people are not naturally just looking for you.
Yeah, there are some times here and there. It's like, at least on the video side, it's like, I really want a video. So at least when I started, I was like, your vision turned into reality. Your idea could be real, and that was so broad. Yeah. Like I still like it, but it's just too broad. It's right. Like, while I do that shouldn't be my main headline.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, there's that. I lost my train of thought. See, that's my moment now.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
So
it happens.
Oh, okay, cool. So marketing.
But you got it back. There it is.
Yeah, I got it back. Discipline, mind discipline. So 10 avenues to market, 10 deep. Okay, if that's not possible, start somewhere. And the key to marketing is to be consistent, right? Now, I know that you're excited about talking about certain things. There are ways to be able to make this easier for people.
Yep.
Right?
That's what I'm all about.
So if this is not your cup of tea as a business owner and you're like, I'm wasting time trying to figure this out on my own, there's a few things you could do. You could find ways to make it easier for you, or you can find somebody to do it for you.
Yeah.
But the people doing it for you are figuring out these ways to make it easier for them so they can help people in the masses. But why don't you start talking about those things that you're excited about?
Dude, and if you're a marketer out there, like even if you're working for a company and you're the lead marketing person or just involved in marketing, let me know in the comments. I want to know, like, because I love you.
Yeah.
You
and if
are awesome.
You even have, because we can't touch on every topic here.
Yeah.
And I'm limited on my knowledge. I know a lot, but I'm not a marketing expert. So put stuff in the comments, about like your suggestions as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know
I would
mean?
love to know.
If you're a marketer or if you're an entrepreneur and you've done something special to change the tide where your branding got much better or you're able to find better ideal leads, put in the comments what you did. I think this platform is to help entrepreneurs.
Yep.
And that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But be respectful.
Man, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I want to like... I'm still at that learn it all. I said I was a learn it all, teach it all, fused together. I'm definitely still like, there are things I don't know, and I know that I don't know it.
Right.
And you don't know until you know.
Sure. One thing about you though is you purpose to learn. You keep learning.
I try to be curious.
Which is cool. Like I'm always like, hey, I just learned this new thing, Joe. Check this out, right? I'm like, oh, I learned something new.
I feel like curiosity is a good way to drive someone.
Yeah.
Cool. It can kill a cat though.
Right. So you're going to talk about how to make this easy or easier.
Yeah, how to make it easier. There are tools out there that you need to know about. And sometimes these tools exist and you even know it exists, but you don't know what it is or how to use it. Well, there's one that I discovered, and it was like this for a while.
Okay.
And it's through a social media scheduling app.
Okay.
That's, I don't actually use it on my phone. I like the desktop better, but it's a web app. And you go in there, you log in, you can connect all these social media platforms, including advertising ones. So you can plug in your Facebook ad, your Google ad, and Google Looker Studio, which I want to know more about that. I know that has to do with analytics, and that's about it. But there's something there that I'm missing. And
Right.
if someone can describe it to me in 2 sentences, that would be awesome.
I can't. So
Yeah. I'm like, what is this? But what stood out to me was this tool had Google My Business as well. And then they had a feature called Auto List. And what you can do with an auto list is it can publish posts for you through a list automatically.
So what is this
But it's
tool?
hard to grasp that. And this tool of metrics is so cool. It's called Metricool. You fuse those together.
Cool.
So metricool.com.
So I was wondering why you were taking forever to talk about what the actual name is, and I see why now. You're building it up.
Yeah. And Metricool, I am not like directly affiliated with them, but I do actually have an affiliate link that we can share in the
comments.
in the description
description. Yeah.
of this podcast wherever you are, and you can look into buying their service or use their free version, which they do start with a free version. And as far as I know, that free version was still great, but I started with them and then they started growing and adding on new features. And I love it when a company does that.
Yeah.
And I experience that because it just means they're moving forward with things and listening. So anyways, it's really cool. And
so let's get into what Metricool does. Because I think it's really important, because when it comes to marketing, it can be so overwhelming for an entrepreneur, especially if you're the type of entrepreneur that's by yourself or you have a very small team.
Yeah.
You know you're supposed to post a post a day
yeah,
on 7 different platforms.
3 to 5. Actually, the saying is when people ask, how many times should I be posting? As
About 3 to
many
5.
times as humanly possible.
Yeah, that was Gary Vee, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, the algorithm has shifted. So it's no longer like, oh, I'm going to unfollow you because you posted 2 times in a row. Like that used to be a thing, but the algorithm's not fed by, chronological anymore.
You might not even get it back to back.
Yeah.
You might not even see certain videos.
Yeah, it's all based on engagement on like almost all the platforms now.
Absolutely.
And then plus, if you want to have a stronger online presence, you just simply post more.
Right.
If you want a 3x, well, are you posting once? Well, now post 4 times or,
5 times, 6 times.
Yeah.
So the answer to that is post as much as humanly possible. I always tell people, if you can't do anything, just do something a day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And even that is it's too little now compared to how many people are actually posting.
Right. And you can look at your area because you might be like a conqueror. Like if someone just posted once a day and you're in a local market, you might actually conquer that field online just because nobody else is doing that. So you better hurry up wherever you are and just, outperform them. But you need a strategy. You can't just go in and start doing graphic design only posts and not show people because people relate to people.
Yeah.
And then you need to not only sell things either.
Right.
You need to give away value.
Yeah. And sometimes value is just you having a conversation.
Yeah. Okay, but there's so much, man. I got to do all these things. Like, well, 1, you can hire a company like JT Visuals to help you if you're in the area.
Yeah.
But for 2, some of the stuff I'm just going to tell you, some of my ideas.
Okay.
And one of the things is still with that auto list. So that was very confusing for me. So are you getting what an auto list is or?
Well, break it down a little bit.
Okay. So,
because remember, I know what it is because we have a relationship and you've always talked about this, but what about for these guys?
Okay. Well, I don't remember talking about it.
Well, you've talked about Metricool a lot with me.
I have. Yeah.
Because you're always excited about it.
Okay. Let me tell you use cases. This might better help. So the way that I use it is I actually utilize ChatGPT. Everyone should know about that. If you don't, just AI text chat. Yep. Now, it can help you write things. So I guided ChatGPT, wrangled that AI because you have to.
Right.
And I got 52, value-driven, like advice, tips, tricks, things you can do to help boost your online presence, which is part of the vision of my business. I got 52 of them. What does that equal? Well, we all know that number 52.
1 a week.
Once a week.
Yeah.
I made an auto list of 52 posts. And then I say, hey, release this every Monday at 7 p.m. on my social media. And then boom, it just runs.
Wow.
Now you can do less. You could say, here's 6. Run it every Tuesday. And you can set another one. Run it every Tuesday and Thursday.
Right.
And then that will just auto post because there's a lot that's forgotten. So if you can figure out where that forgotten point is, it's okay to repost. Like you don't want to share the same thing twice in a row if it's the exact same photo or whatever.
Right.
But for instance, if you're a church and you like doing, I'm saying this because I have experience. A church is one of my clients. If you like making those posts that's called churches tomorrow, you know?
Oh, yeah. Don't forget to show up, right?
Yeah.
Or
before an event.
Yeah.
For whatever business you have. If it's routine, especially if it's weekly, like this podcast,
Yeah.
then we can go and make 6.
Right.
So we put 6 posts. We spend 1 day or less making 6, put the frequency. After 6 weeks that it's used,
Right.
nobody's going to be like, oh, you used that 7 weeks ago, therefore I'm not going to your church. Like no one does that.
Yeah.
Or I'm not, you know.
Well,
so
most
you
of them
can
will
do that.
forget what you posted 7 weeks ago anyways.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a way to
I
hack.
actually reuse content.
Yeah, you should.
There's a video that I don't know if this is considered what is it called when they get so many views or something like that?
Viral?
Well, yeah. So I got a couple of videos that got like 12,000.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
To you viral.
yeah. Is that viral?
I would say like millions is, or no. I would say hundreds of thousands.
Okay, to me that was viral because all my other videos got like 300 views, 400 views. So 12,000 views. I'm like, whoa, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, I just reused that one.
Dude, yeah. And
I was like,
guess what?
Yeah.
Throw it into one of your quantum social vids things and I can go and re-edit it for you.
Yeah.
To find a better hook at the beginning that might actually make even more.
There you
or
go.
you try a different one. Like it's good to
So
A/B
remind
test.
me tomorrow to send you that video.
Yeah, okay.
It's on my Instagram.
Yeah. I'm all about helping.
It was all about motivation is a lie. That was the title. Motivation is a lie.
Did you say that at the very beginning?
I think so.
Oh, that's a good hook.
Yeah. Motivation's a lie. So,
Yeah.
and it was all about like how people like only depend on motivation, but then when motivation wears off, like nobody has these
what do you
habits to back up, you know.
And real quick, what is your answer? Is it
What do you mean?
discipline?
Yeah, it's discipline.
Okay.
It's creating habits, right?
Okay.
It's creating habits. You know, there's a book that I read called Atomic Habits, and this applies to marketing because marketing is really about just
do I know that
habitually doing things over and over again, right? So if marketing is not something that you're used to doing, or social media, for example, because social media, and we talk a lot about social media because that's a big thing, but marketing in general needs to just be a focus that every entrepreneur has. If you don't have a team to do it, then you really just need to give yourself the time and work on this, right? Whether it's, you know, posting. So you had the Metricool, which allows people to create one post.
Yeah, and you
to
can
send it
put
to
it
all platforms.
Put it to almost all. It depends on what restrictions.
Right.
So like,
So that saves you time right there.
Yep. And then
ChatGPT gives you.
Yeah, and ChatGPT will help generate those things, and then you just quality control that and make sure it's like, you know, of your brand and how you say things, and then once it's scheduled, dude, you just hack the system, and you have, like for me, I set it to even repeat. So when it gets to the end of the list, it'll repeat. So I made even more than 1 year's worth. I made an infinite amount of social media posts, at least once a week.
Going out.
That
is so cool.
Which is that is awesome. Like, and you can do that when I made it text based, so it'll go to Twitter and it'll go to Google My Business as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So that means Google My Business has a new post every week at the very minimum.
Dude, that makes your SEO soar.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I love it so much.
So talking about SEO.
Yeah. So search engine optimization, if you've been wondering what that is, here it is finally.
Yeah. This is when you have a website.
Yeah.
And you optimize it by using very, very key words throughout your website.
Yep.
And labeling all your pictures with those keywords because you're in an industry, people are going to look for you by putting in keywords.
Yeah. And you can do this in video now too.
Yeah.
So like,
well, you know why?
What do you want?
Well, because do you know what the number 2 search engine is?
Yeah, it's YouTube.
Google owns YouTube.
Yep. And
so if you do it in video form, then you better be doing videos as well, right? So
and
that's
they auto-generate captions too, and that's how they know.
Exactly. So again, we get excited about this because we know it works.
Yeah.
If you're watching or listening, this is my advice. The basics of what you need, right? These are the basics of what you need to market for your business. Number one, your brand will keep evolving. Like if you don't absolutely know your brand right now, or if that's evolving, that's okay. You could still make money right now. Really, you need to focus on communicating to who that ideal client is. And if you're still unsure about who your ideal lead or ideal client is, it'll come as leads come. You're gonna start thinking, I don't want to do that again. That type of client is and then you start looking at patterns and you start to fix the way your messaging is, start talking to the ones that you actually like. But you need a good website. That hands down, you can no longer have a trashy looking website.
Yeah, you want it to look professional because it just shows that you're more legit, Yeah. And then also it definitely needs to be functional.
Very functional.
So
what do we mean about functional? Well, number one, you have to have some type of call to action.
Yeah.
There, right? Like a button that says call here, reach out to us here.
It serves the audience well.
Right.
Is really.
And then number two, like the website just needs to flow. Right?
Yeah.
So when people look at your website, they're going to determine like immediately when the website comes up if they even want to keep looking at your website. How are you going to catch them? Is there going to be a catchphrase there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, well, I have own a business, not a job. Right?
Yeah.
And then on another part of my thing, it says,
I like your new website.
Create a business that works for you, not because of you. Like those things hit pain points.
Yep.
And cause people to say, okay. Let me
when
look
people
down.
relate, they tend to connect.
Right.
And so if you have something that's either a question someone has actually been asking in their head or a pain point, because of some frustration or whatever it is,
right.
then that can really draw them in.
Exactly. So,
and then if they're Googling that, that's more potential to show up on the SEO. So I think it's like the best strategy to start with and an effective one that even I want to implement more is to go through what are the actual frequently asked questions that you get and then use ChatGPT. I always think I'm going to say ChatGPT, but it's P. ChatGPT.
You're a ChatGPT dude. Like if ChatGPT, because they have a paid version, you should just be an affiliate guy for their paid stuff.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
I want to try their paid one and see the difference. But yeah, just use that because it's a tool that can help you brainstorm better. And I've even used it, and I didn't use a thing from it, but it did spark my new idea.
Right.
So it's still good with that.
Yeah.
Use that for to help write 3 paragraphs for a blog post. Blogs are still good. People don't go and do blogs the way they used to. Like it's not some newspaper or newsletter and people subscribe and like and stuff that I know of. Maybe it's still out there somewhere.
It's actually changed.
But it's more of like landing pages for people to discover something, and then you build credibility on that. So
that's what I do. I have blogs that are landing pages, and it just talks about business.
Yeah.
In general, and then they can come to my website. But that's all SEO. That's I mean, it's just
all question based, frequently
and then we take
asked
that
questions.
blog and then we put it in an email format and send that out through email.
Oh yeah,
everybody.
it's the same thing.
We repurpose what we have so that we don't make it complicated. We just have a system of how we do it.
And a lot of people are doing emails and email newsletters, but they're not blogging. So it's like, dude, you could even go back to all of your emails that you've ever sent,
copy paste,
and just copy and paste those into a blog.
Yep.
Like that's great. Like better to have something and get a bunch of dislikes than have nothing at all.
Right. Well, if you have dislikes, that's actually a good marketing strategy.
Yeah,
You're getting attention.
Yep.
Right?
It is.
So
there are people that try to break algorithms and try to be opposite of things. Like everyone unsubscribe.
Right.
And it ends up working. It's weird.
It works. Yeah. So saying you need a basic website.
Yep.
You need a Google My Business. Like you need some type of Google.
Yeah, set up that profile.
Set up that profile. And the reason why it's on Google is because it's the largest search engine right now. Bing is right behind it, I think, or something like that as far as like another.
Yeah, I don't know. Is Yahoo still going?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I think It's either Bing or DuckDuckGo. Have you heard that one?
DuckDuckGo went up pretty
Yeah.
like fast when all the,
All the politics.
all the politics and everything.
Yep.
But I do know that Bing and Yahoo are they're not close to Yahoo, but they're still search engines that people use. I think the elderly community still use Bing and Yahoo.
Or you have that virus that when you try to Google something, it puts you into Bing.
Or
Or Yahoo.
Yeah, something like that.
That's an actual virus.
You want to actually just at least create your profiles there, because when you have profiles, you can put pictures on there, you can update it, you can use it as,
Now it's searchable. You're
so it's
discoverable.
So if you have that, you have web presence.
Yep.
Now, when we talked about having a nice website, you might have created a Wix website in the beginning just to save money, and that's fine. Power to you. But eventually, that website is going to have to look better and be more functional.
Yeah. Well,
And
you can actually do a lot on Wix.
Right.
But if you are, like, to your point, though, if you're the one that set it up, then go with someone that's a professional designer and an SEO specialist.
Sure.
If you pair those together, because sometimes they're not one and the same.
They're not. And another thing, too, is like, I don't know, this was true for me. I don't need to be touching that marketing stuff. Like, I don't need to be trying to, it takes me away from my genius of what I'm doing, and it takes me away from making money in my business. I'm sitting here spending 20 hours.
Which is ironic.
Trying to figure out how to make a freaking website just to save money.
Yeah.
I just spent 20 hours of my own time. And as a business coach, that's a lot of money per hour. I should have just paid my friend to do it.
If time is money, just buy time.
Yeah.
Like, if you got it, do it.
Well, this is the thing. I had one crappy website to another better, crappier website, another less crappy website, but still crappy. Like, I had to change it 3 times with that mentality with one of my businesses. So now it's like, no, I'm just going to get a really nice one the first time around. Every business that I start, a very nice one.
Yeah.
The Google profile is up, everything like that. Then I get all my social media platforms up, all of them. So a website, Google profile, all my social media platforms up, right? So I have my digital presence right there. But then you know what I do? I do like crazy, especially when I'm in a new market, new business. I network like crazy.
In person.
In-person networking. There's no other way to build trust and credibility than being in front of people and building relationships.
Especially if you're local.
Especially if you're local. So when I moved to Kansas City in 2021, I knew nobody. Nobody, except for friends that were here, but they were not in the business world. So they were not able to help me in business. But you know what I did the first time, the first week or two? I signed up for a BNI group and another networking group. And within 3 years, I am more networked than a lot of local Kansas Cityans.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There are a lot of locals here asking me, who do I know that could do X, Y, and Z?
Yep.
Because of that.
And then I was like, whoa, he knows Kansas City better than I do.
Well, because I like to drive around too. Like, that was a big thing for me. So,
okay.
Yeah. I would purposely get lost in Kansas City just to find my way.
There's a good concept there. Sometimes you just drive around, no direction, just to assess.
Yeah.
And to observe. And I think that's the same thing for a lot of things that some people might be scared of. Like AI and how it can work for your business.
Try it.
Just, even if you don't try it though, it's like at least spend 10 hours or something. Go and research it a little more and what it can do for you. Not researching headlines that say it's going to take over the world.
Sure.
Or look at all sides, really.
Yeah.
And the same thing with, social media and exploring it. Like, just get on it. Don't even post.
Yeah.
Go and be a user. Did you know social media likes it when you're a user? So send it to people.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you could build credibility just sending somebody's TikTok to someone as your business, right?
Wow. Okay, so I didn't even know that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then go around and if you're on Instagram, this can be good.
So this is why you need to hire a professional.
and go through places. I've been trying this too. Or think of your ideal client.
Yeah.
Go follow them on social media, like and comment. Little emoji, fire, This, that, be their number one fan. That's marketing, even though you're not posting a single thing.
You know what's so funny? I get that on my Instagram all the time. People I start noticing other influencers starting to like my stuff. I'm like, oh, they want me to buy their program.
Yeah.
Because
some people
eventually
overdo it.
somebody's in my message, hey, Joe, so-and-so, my name is But I'm like, it works because some people actually buy from them like that or use their services.
That
So-
LinkedIn guy,
Yeah,
there's a lot of people on LinkedIn that's always doing that.
LinkedIn is actually a very underrated social media platform.
Yeah.
Especially for professional stuff.
Yep. And then I recently heard an argument with LinkedIn that it used to be the concept of B2B, and you're going to like put on your suit per se on your videos and speak to other businesses.
Right.
But now it's like the chance, because there aren't like all the B2Cs. So now there's like an opening there.
There is an opening there.
And there's less traffic, less, what do you call it?
Well, there's less like
Saturation
in there.
Yep.
Actually, you can get straight to the point and you'll be fine.
Yep.
So I actually like LinkedIn. I do a lot of branding through LinkedIn, actually.
Yeah.
So I really hope this helps. I mean, I know that we were kind of scattered in what we talked about, but if you finished listening to this entire podcast, I'm pretty sure you could put the pieces together.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I get fired up and pumped up when it comes to branding and marketing because I know if you do it right, it actually works.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? If you do it right and you do it consistently, it actually works.
Yep. You got to give it a long enough chance. Don't make one video, pay thousands of dollars for a TikTok, and then
say
base your entire video ROI budget based on that one video and never do video again because you didn't see the return and now you hate social media and you think it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, that was one.
Well, you're trying to make it work on your own terms. And social media says, this is the way we make it work. So start learning. And if that's the case, like, get a professional. Like, at a certain point in business, you can't be doing everything yourself.
Yeah.
Now, if you're at a point where you don't have a budget to do that, just be consistent with something. Make sure you have the basics down. You have a digital presence and you're networking like crazy.
Yeah.
And then once you start putting a budget together, then you can boost ads, you can pay for this, you can pay for that.
And just think of people instead of tasks weighing you down.
Yeah.
Start thinking of, how can I delegate this?
Yes.
Like that, to me, that's been a big, I know last episode was mindset, but that was a mindset shift for me. Was like, man, I don't have to be like feeling this way and pressured. All these things I'm supposed to do. Well, now I can think, oh, who could I delegate?
Exactly.
Instead of what, to.
Yeah.
And then,
there's a powerful book out there called Who Not How.
Oh.
The concept is if you really want to be a successful entrepreneur, it's always who could I partner up with? Who can I hire? Instead of how can I do it?
Okay.
How is limiting. Who, it's an eternal.
Yeah. And if you aren't at a point where you can do that, then you go, the rich dad, poor dad thing. How can I do it to where I can get to who?
How can I figure this out?
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's good
so
stuff.
that's cool. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I could subcontract someone to do this for me, or I could like, hire someone.
Exactly.
Well,
the biggest hiring investment I made was an assistant. Got all my busy work off of my plate so I could really focus on what I have to do.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for me. Well, in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube or Apple or Spotify, communicate with us. Is there a topic you want us to talk about when it comes to business?
Yeah. Actually, if you're on Spotify, we even see those pop-ups. Like it's embedded into the podcast to say, what'd you think of this episode?
Right.
In that spot, write it or make a comment.
Yeah.
Whatever way but if you see that way, do it with the Spotify.
Yeah. And if you don't have a suggestion on a topic, let us know what your greatest takeaway was. That honestly like communicates a lot to us about your biggest takebacks or takeaways from this podcast. It helps us to know that our conversations are going in the right direction.
Yeah. And what was valuable to you? Like, well, that's part of the same question, but I like knowing that. Like, what's a strength that we could do more of?
Yeah. Our goal is to also bring people on this platform, and we're working on a list of local people here in Kansas City. And I know I have a lot of clients in San Diego and around the United States who eventually will fly out and be on this platform. So help us through sharing this platform. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're in Spotify and Apple, share it. Put on your social media, share it. You know what I mean? If you're an entrepreneur, that means you know other entrepreneurs. Who else in your circle can benefit from this podcast? From just listening to our conversation.
That's good.
So.
And thank you for that. It means a lot. And we look forward to where this is going to go.
Absolutely.
We have a few things we'll put in the description from this episode. And then in the future, too, we really want to be a tool, right? You know?
Yeah.
For people to be able to have resources and really, we're here for the entrepreneur experience. Yeah. And obviously you are too, right? Because you made it this far and you're listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel like people learn better through just conversations and stories and stuff like that. I know today was more specific to branding and networking, branding and marketing, and that's cool. That's cool. You know, every once in a while we're going to do things like this, but the overarching thing is let's get people in here to talk about their story, because there's answers and there's little nuggets through those stories, those entrepreneurial experience in those stories. You know,
I like stories so much.
Yeah, me too.
There was a lot in this one.
Yeah,
there's a lot more we could share.
I think we'll cap it.
You know, we got a cap.
Yeah.
So if you want to know more, make it maybe a part 2. Let us know about that as well.
Yeah. So check this out. Keep on keeping on.
And stay strong. I see what you did there.